Hey, everybody, and welcome. This is Bob. And tonight, with Rob from Your Most Interesting Story, we're going to talk about the Thunderbird.
Dun, dun,
Thunderbirds are
dun.
go.
I did not find that out in my research that they were go.
Oh, they weren't go? Oh,
Not that I saw.
that may be a little bit of an esoteric tangent there. I'm not sure. But if people know who the Thunderbirds are, it's a British television show with what was it, marionation? They're marionettes that were as a British TV show called the Thunderbirds. They saved the world.
Did they really?
Yeah,
Marionettes that can save the world.
yeah. It's from like late '60s.
Are
Yeah.
they related to Captain Scarlet? Do you remember Captain
Yes.
Scarlet?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's by the same folks, and I'm
Okay.
blanking on their names now, but they did the Thunderbirds. They did Captain Scarlet. They did some other stuff. Team America World Police is a total spoof of all of those kind of things.
Never heard of that.
Oh, okay. That's from the South Park people.
Oh, okay.
So, but we're here tonight. We're not talking about the Thunderbirds from Britain. We're talking about the mythical cryptid Thunderbird. Can we say
Mm-hmm.
that? Although some people will say it is neither mythical nor a cryptid, it is real.
Steeped in legend, a mystery
Mhm.
to this day.
Yeah. Well, yeah. But for some folks, not so much of a mystery.
No, especially one person we'll hear about later on.
Yeah. I don't, we'll see if your story connects with the one that I know of. So we'll see.
That's a good idea.
Now, I don't know that you realize, it's funny how there's always, this is why people think we live in a simulation, because of all these weird connectivity, the connections between things. I don't know that you realize that I am in proximity to a Thunderbird.
Right now?
Well, yeah, I mean within like a 35-mile radius, sure.
Huh. Is he your pet?
No,
Hmm.
there is a in Alton, Illinois, on the bluff of the Mississippi, is a painting called the Piasaw Bird. And the Piasaw bird, in essence, is a thunderbird.
Oh.
And even though the current, so if you drive down the river road along the Mississippi River outside of Alton, you will encounter. You can't miss it. It's huge. You will encounter the Piasaw bird, which is a painting on the side of a river bluff rock. And the story is that the Piasaw bird lived on the bluffs of the Mississippi. And the indigenous people, the Native Americans who lived there on the bluff, they didn't paint the one that you see. They painted a different one that got destroyed by white people at some point uh, on a different bluff down the way a little bit. But they painted the Piasaw bird on the bluff in honor of the bird that lived up on the bluff. And since that time, people have embraced it because of they call it the legend of the Piasaw bird. But I believe that the native folks believed there was a giant bird that lived on the bluff.
Interesting. Now, what does Piasaw? What is that? An area?
Well, it's become like there's Piasaw Oil Company, and there's I think it's like a county.
Okay.
But that's what the Native Americans call it. They call it the Piasaw bird,
Okay.
and it just got adopted. I have no idea what Piasaw means. I should look it up here.
Maybe it
Uh,
means thunder in
and
one
maybe
of the.
yeah, wouldn't that be great
Uh-huh.
if
We had
it
some
did?
Piasaw and lightning here last weekend.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow.
Yeah, unusual for where I live.
So and this the Piasaw bird is very close to Pierre Marquette Park, which flows into the story. So, Piasaw bird is a creature from Native. I'm reading from Wikipedia here.
Mm-hmm.
From Native American mythology, depicted in one of two murals painted by Native Americans on cliff sides above the Mississippi River. And it tells you where the original location was, near Alton and so forth. And so the Cahokians, which I don't know if people realize that one of the largest Native American settlements was in Cahokia, which is right outside of St. Louis. It numbered in the hundreds of thousands of people lived
Oh,
here
wow.
at certain times, right? And then, what was it? The smallpox or whatever wiped them all out. But anyway, um, so the Cahokians were the ones that had the Piasol bird. Let's see if it means anything. And then Father Jacques Marquette came and saw the painting and so forth. And that's Père Marquette, his father Marquette. He was a clergy. He had a state park right there. And he saw it was in awe of it because it was this large thing with horns and like a deer with the horrible look with red eyes, a beard like a tiger's. It was kind of this monster they painted on the side of the cliff.
Oh,
But they call it the Piasol bird because it did fly off of the bluff. I don't know. It doesn't say what Piasol means here. I'm spinning through this real quick here. Phonetically, small supernatural being is what it stood for Piasol.
small supernatural being bird. I could see why they changed the name.
Yeah. So, yeah,
Huh.
that's what it means. And it's not spelt the way Piasa is what we spell it today. But back then it was Payihsa.
Well, never would have guessed that.
Yeah, Piasa. But this whole region has a history with the thunder, but it's a Thunderbird in essence.
Mm-hmm. That's pretty interesting. And similarly, do you remember when I was researching the Dogman episode and I was hearing howling outside my house? I just realized that, we haven't had a thunderstorm where I live in over a year. And I'm
Really?
researching the Thunderbird. And what am I hearing last weekend? Middle of the night? Thunder and lightning. Well, I didn't hear the lightning. I heard the thunder.
Not well. I mean, it can kind of crack.
Yeah,
lightning.
if you're close enough to it. We weren't that close to it.
It sounded like a big whip,
Uh-huh. A crackly whip.
A crackly whip.
I'll love another crackly whip, please.
So, but I was just like, I didn't want to give anything away last week when we mentioned it, but I'm like,
Right.
I'm very familiar with this from the Piasol bird, which is just wild. And if you're ever in the area, you have to go take a look at it. Mm-hmm. Although I want to be honest with you, where you stop to take a look at is not always it's kind of sketchy sometimes. So be careful. Don't do it at night.
Thanks for the warning. I'll keep that in mind.
But no, it's cool. And I've loved the idea of the Thunderbird forever, as long as I can remember. The whole idea of Thunderbird really it kind of rings with me for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe there's always so much freedom with birds, right?
There is definitely, yeah. I mean, they are not stuck to the ground like we are, so they certainly have a lot more opportunity to locomote.
Yeah. So what did you learn?
Well, what you wanna hop into the quiz, because I'm afraid if we start talking about it too much, the quiz is going to be too easy for you.
You want me to go? Okay. Well, this is going to be a pretest.
Thunderbird quiz, go.
Okay, you're up on the screen for Thunderbird quiz. Oh, I like this little icon. Where'd you find that at?
AI, of course.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
See, unfortunately, well, this kind of has a Thunderbird / Phoenix vibe to it a little bit.
It does. And a bit of a halo, almost an angelic look to it.
Yeah, it could be the sun rising.
Well, it could be that too. It could be a helmet. Like a space helmet.
Yeah, it could be.
Could be so many things.
Now we're getting into Egyptian glyphs and so forth. Thunderbird was, was over in Egypt, giving them direction. Grow more grain.
Build that pyramid.
Yeah, build a pyramid.
All right. Are you ready? Are you ready for the quiz?
If you don't know an answer, just wing it.
Just wing it. Now,
wing it.
I've never operated a slide deck on StreamYard before, so I have these questions coming in one at a time. I'm going to go ahead and press the different keys to see if I can make it work properly here.
Let's see what happened.
Oh,
It
oh,
went, but I
shoot!
see the answer though.
Darn it! That's not the way it's supposed to work. Let me try this. Hold on a second.
All right, I'll close my eyes.
Close your eyes while I work on this.
Wait, I can't. My character's not closing its eyes.
Oh,
No,
jeez.
I see it again.
Don't look again. Oh, God.
This is like
this
open
is
book
terrible.
test here or something.
This is terrible. This is not the way
Wait,
it's
you want
supposed
me
to happen.
to take away the quiz for a moment so you can
Take away the quiz. Let me see
all
if
right,
I can.
we'll go. I'll vamp a little bit while you
I'm going to
do the quiz.
I'm going to remove the correct answer indicators and hope that I remember the answers, and then we're going to try to reshare the deck.
No problem. You want me to knock it out totally, or you can reshare it, so you can reshare it.
Okay, I'll reshare then, and we'll know that we've got the right one.
I don't understand why here the largest thing that I've seen Piasaw associated with is an oil company, which I think is kind of counterintuitive for the Piasaw bird. It seems to be a natural thing, and then they have them on all the trucks, like the tanker trucks have these big renderings of the Piasaw bird. And I'm always thinking, this is probably not the best use of the Piasaw bird. No, honestly.
Well, I think, back in the day, probably when it was assigned to the oil truck, we weren't thinking as oil being so potentially hazardous to the environment. It was kind of a new thing, probably.
Oh, I think it always has been. Maybe everybody just forgot about it, but I mean, have you ever changed your own oil yourself?
Oh yeah. Okay. Yes, I definitely have. Yes.
And you know how nasty that is?
It is pretty nasty, yeah.
And if you get it on you, it's like, oh my God, how am I going to deal with this?
Yeah, but I think as you're going down the grocery store back in 1954, not that you personally were, and you saw the oil cans, you weren't thinking about the environment being ruined by the dirty black oil when if you were in your car for a while. You're just like, oh, look at that nice
maybe
bird on the.
I pretty much think that I think everybody was just lying to themselves.
We're just ignoring things.
Or just like I'm trying to make a buck, and this bird looks damn good on this tanker truck.
Yeah. I gotta feed my family. Just slap that bird on the truck. All right, I reloaded it. Let's see if.
All right, I'm gonna add it back on here. I'm gonna close my eyes.
Close your eyes.
You do the thing.
No, that did not work. Can you remove them on your side or no?
No, I don't think I cannot. I don't think I can. Here, let me kick it from the studio, so we have to reshare it. Oh wait,
do that. That's a good idea.
I'm not gonna kick Rob. It says Rob will be removed from the studio. I don't want to do that.
No. Here, maybe I can remove it from my side.
Remove share it. There you go. There you go.
All right, let's try again.
I was trying to think. Oh, there we go. Do you want to take a look? Oh, it's there.
Still there. What the hell is going on?
Well, I'll tell you what.
All right.
Ask me the question. I'll give you, and then you can just reveal the question and the answer together.
Let's do that then. Hold on a second here.
Yeah. We can figure this out. we are pseudo professionals.
I have closed where the actual presentation was. Now I got to think about where I put it. Thinking that might help, but it didn't help. You have any kind of jazzy sort of on hold music? Well, this Thunderbird-esque. No. All right. All right.
But I mean, I can just talk about more Piasaw things.
I'm almost there.
Just think if your baseball team was, Piasaw oil. You had that big bird on your back. What a great that was be good. That's not so negative.
Yes, right.
Yeah,
I would agree with that. You wouldn't associate that with.
But I know where the original Piasaw bird was, and I'm trying to think, who in the hell thought, let's just tear this thing down? I mean, it was supposedly really quite beautiful.
Probably some art critic. They didn't do a very good job with that.
I want to tell you that I'm assuming with, the skills of the Native Americans, it had to look better than the current Piasa bird, which looks like it's a little
Mm.
loopy. To be honest with you, it looks like it's been huffing some of that
Gasoline,
oil,
oil, maybe. Yeah.
yeah, gas products on the cliff face. Looks a little bit loopy to me, and I'm like, I can only imagine that it's much more majestic in its other format before they decimated it. So
You haven't seen a
yeah,
picture? No picture of the
I don't know
original?
that there is a picture because
Oh,
I think it got decimated early on because
before the camera was invented?
yeah, Pere Marquette was here in the 1730s or whatever. So
He was a
and I must say,
Native American.
if you go to Pere Marquette State Park, it's very beautiful as well. So
Making a list, jotting all this
yeah,
stuff
well, it's
down.
right there by
Points
the
of
Piasa
interest.
bird. Yeah, you can't miss it. I mean, you run right into it. But I will tell you because I actually did a whole show on this. Maybe don't eat at the lodge. Not that good.
Got a do and a don't list for my trip.
Yeah. So if you go, don't eat at the lodge. There's plenty of other like nicer bar restaurants in the area. You'll be compelled to eat at the lodge because it is very rustic and you think you want to be there. Food not so good.
Don't eat at the lodge and don't ponder the parasol bird at night.
Yeah. Yeah. But because I went to lunch with a friend of mine there and I was like, yeah, we probably should have went down to the what's it called? It's like this construction themed bar, the loading dock.
Loading dock.
It's called a loading dock, and it's pretty good for bar food. Yeah, not
Still
that far
taking notes.
away.
Still taking notes. All right, I'm set. I'm ready to go.
Okay,
We're going to start with the easy ones as usual. This is going to be
we're
a tough
winging
one.
it.
Yeah, it
This
may.
totally fits in with the whole phrase.
I'm going to change the order because I know you know it's C, right? This is going to really
Okay,
trip you up.
all right.
What natural phenomenon is most closely associated with the Thunderbird?
You
Volcanic
mean? Oh,
eruptions?
go ahead.
Yeah,
All
now I'm
right.
going to give
Oh,
you
you're gonna give me choices. That's even easier.
choices. Yeah. Volcanic eruptions, thunderstorms, earthquakes, or chapped lips.
Was this like the match game or something?
Could be.
Um, I think that it's well, actually, I think it's earthquakes.
You do?
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
All right. Well, go to the next slide. Oh, I can
Oh,
go to the next
you
slide.
should go to the next slide.
I'll go to the next slide. Thunderstorms.
Thunderstorms. Oh,
I thought the name might give it away.
yeah. Okay.
And the fact that I told you the story about me hearing thunder while
Right. Hearing
researching the
thunderstorms. Well, I
Thunderbird.
thought you were trying to misdirect me here.
Well, psychological warfare.
And this is easy, so I feel even worse.
Yeah, that's all right. You'll get the hang of this.
My
We've got 10.
self-esteem is ruined.
We've got 10 of them. You're going to make up for this, I'm sure of it.
Okay.
In many Native American cultures, the Thunderbird is seen as protector, trickster, harbinger of bad luck, or reason to party.
um, I think it's a trickster. That's my feeling. Protector.
Protector. The trickster's
Well,
actually
let's go
the
back
raven.
to the goblins. I think I got 100% on that one.
Well, think of what you're learning. Let's spin this positively.
Yeah.
Think
Okay.
of the knowledge being transferred. Okay, I'm gonna go.
I'm gonna keep thinking trickster. So
You go ahead. Yeah, tell people that.
well, I will. That's what.
All right, this is gonna be a tough one. This is get ready. What type of creature is the Thunderbird often depicted as? A giant snake, a giant bird, a winged lizard, or an animated slice of spam?
So you can really only think of three things for each one of these? Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Maybe.
I think that it's a flying lizard-ish
You do.
thing. I do. I might be wrong again. Giant bird.
Again, in the name.
Yeah,
Mhm.
Thunderbird.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Well, I know,
Otherwise,
but if you saw the Piasa bird, it doesn't look like a bird so much.
hmm.
You know what it looks like?
A
If
winged
you
lizard?
well, a little bit. If you watch the old with Hermie the dentist,
Oh yeah, we just watched that. Uh-huh.
okay, you remember the little toy that was the king? He was like a lion, but he flew.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
That's what the Piasa bird kind of looks like.
Interesting. Kind of like a griffin, right?
A
I think those are
griffin,
the
yes,
yeah.
exactly, yeah.
Uh-huh. And not Andy.
Hermie, we're the land of misfit toys. Who
I
wants
kind
a
of
Charlie in the box?
I've seen that so many times and I'm old enough now where it seems like we just watched it last month. I was kind of zoning out while the rest of the family watched.
It's one of my favorites.
Is it?
Oh yeah,
It's definitely a classic. Yes.
Yukon Cornelius. Yahoo!
Yeah, I was watching what's Rudolph's dad's name? He was leaning forward. The weight of his clay antlers were like kind of making them bend in half as he was leaning forward. That was they're probably trying to fix that. Is it okay?
Which one was his dad?
Uh he was the coach, right? No, he
Yeah, he
wasn't
was
the
the
coach.
coach. Yeah, he was kind of a
Blitzen? Was
jerk.
it Blitzen?
Really? Was he
Donner
Blitzen?
Donner
It
Blitzen?
might be Blitzen. I think that'd
Might
be
have been
my.
the, yeah.
Is that in the quiz? No.
It is not in the quiz. You're all right. Here we go.
Yeah, his dad was a jerk.
He didn't start off being that way, but yeah, that he started really not a
Yeah.
real good parenting skills from reindeer. At
Well,
least
for the
after.
time period, he was spot on.
Well, Santa was kind of an asshole too, right? You know,
Yeah, he was.
initially, and then we
Oh,
saw that how he could help me.
Rudolph, turn that thing off. I'm trying to sleep.
Well, he was probably also hungry because he wasn't start eating. He was still on his
Yeah.
mid. The thin Santa is a bit cranky.
Right. Yeah. He's hangry.
Hangry Santa. That's my
Hangry.
favorite Christmas song.
Hangry Santa?
Hangry Santa.
Oh, I have never even heard that. Is this something you're writing?
I haven't heard it either.
Oh, okay.
Maybe one
I
day.
thought maybe it was one of your songs.
No, maybe.
Yeah.
Maybe. When I heard grandma got run over by a reindeer
Mhm.
as a lad, I'm like, I could do that. I'm going to do
Yeah.
that. Become
Yeah.
famous and write a Christmas song. Of course, that didn't work out.
I used to sing a long time ago. I worked at United Parcel Service. And I loaded trucks.
Mm-hmm.
And I used to sing at Christmas time. I used to sing Carl the Fat Drunk Reindeer. Yeah, that was. I would just make up verses and I would yell them in the tune for
To the
Rudolph the
delight of
Red-Nosed
your coworkers,
Yeah.
or were you by
Yeah.
yourself?
No. Well, if you've ever worked at UPS loading trucks, you're always by yourself. But
Okay.
there are people that are nearby. I think they just ignored me, but Carl the Fat Drunk Reindeer.
Okay, we're moving into medium. Are you ready for the medium difficulty? Now these are worth
I've
more, so
done
you
so
can make up.
poorly at the easy.
Well, I think you're overthinking it.
Okay.
I think you're overthinking.
Um,
What colors do modern sightings imply the Thunderbird to be?
mhm.
Red and yellow, gray or white, black or dark brown, aubergine.
Aubergine. Eggplant? Is that what you're trying to say?
Some call it eggplant.
Okay. That's interesting. I would think that they would be more of the brownish color is my
See, here we
guess.
go. Ding, 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 ding,
Black
ding,
or
ding, ding.
brown. Oh,
Yep.
yeah. Now, not to, poke a hole in the whole Thunderbird thing, but we have a lot of eagles around here. So just so you know.
Yeah, that was they did in my as usual extensive research. They said that they're generally actually I'm not going to go and
Yeah,
say
don't go
anymore,
into it if you're going to give
question.
anything. Yeah.
But I can go down this side trail for a while. When I started looking at the typical quote unquote descriptions of those who see the Thunderbird in modern day or think they may see,
Mhm.
if you recall again the dog man, they had some characteristics of being either black or brown with red or yellow glowing eyes. Which made me start thinking, what if this is maybe the same creature, or they hang out together and they dress similarly, or because we've got similar coloring, similar eye glow shades.
Mhm.
So Or maybe
Maybe.
not.
But one of them, the dog man, does he fly? No, he doesn't
No, well,
fly.
I'm thinking a shape shiftery type thing, right? So
Oh,
it's
you're thinking Skinwalker.
yeah, like
Oh.
it's maybe potentially,
I have
yeah.
a whole I have a whole Skinwalker story. I think I met a Skinwalker.
Really? We've got to do an episode then on that, right?
You have to remind me. No, and I have witnesses. So
Really?
yeah.
Oh,
Oh
yeah, I
yeah,
can't.
yeah.
So why did you got to come back on your most interesting story and tell that one? Is it a long
Well,
story?
it's not. I mean, it took like 2 seconds to tell it, but it's not that. It's not that interesting a story. But
All
yes,
right. Do you want to go for it now then while we're kind of on the topic?
I don't. Maybe we may talk about skinwalkers
Okay, well then
in
let's
the
hold on.
future.
All
Do
right,
we
let's
want to
hold on.
hold it for that? I mean,
Let's
I'm
hold it.
perfectly happy to tell it twice, but
I have to admit, there's a part of me that worries a little bit because you're not supposed to say that name too often per
yeah,
the
but I have a speech impediment, so no one knows what I'm saying. For
superstition.
all I know, they think I'm saying swim walker.
According
So
to some, oh, sorry, go
go
for it.
ahead.
According to some Native American legends, what do thunderbirds use to fight underwater spirits?
Mm.
Fireballs, lightning bolts, ice shards, or mercenary whales?
Norwal's is Norwal's one of them.
Narwhals is the last, but
I believe my fireballs.
you are right.
No,
No,
lightning
wait,
bolts.
you're not right.
I'm not right. Lightning
I got
bolts.
excited for a
Okay.
second. Yep,
Yeah.
lightning bolts.
Well, I've only got one right so far. I need to apparently brush up on my
You've
Thunderbird
been
knowledge.
focusing on the Periaco bird, or what's his name again? The
Piasa,
Piasa,
Periaco.
periodontal bird. That's too close to you.
You've been, yeah. Woodsy the owl. It seems to be your focus.
The griffin bird.
Yeah.
All right.
Gryffindor.
It's time for you to I don't know, I said this before, but let's go, Bob. Let's get it together here. Let's
I got to
concentrate.
rally. You got to
You got to
rally
rally.
here. Yeah.
What?
Well, fire. I thought fireballs was the answer, honestly. So
Yeah, I did for a brief second too, and I had just looked at the word lightning
yeah.
bolts
Well,
or
I
the
guess
term
with
lightning bolt.
Thunderbird, it's kind of like the bird
Yeah,
thing. Thunder.
maybe balls and birds. Yeah,
Yeah.
bird balls. What type of extinct bird, speaking of birds, is suggested as a possible explanation for Thunderbird sightings? The dodo bird, the teratorn, the carrier pigeon, or Lady Bird Johnson?
Well, LBJ was a tough lover.
You have experience or just stories?
I read a book.
Read a book. Okay.
Yeah. I gonna. What was the second one?
Teratorn.
I think Teratorn is my answer
Teratorn is correct.
because it's like a pterodactyl, but not quite.
Oh, I hadn't got that.
Yeah.
Got that. Very good.
Yeah. Dodo. No. Carry. Obviously, carry. Ladybird. Close second, but not quite.
Especially when she would dress in that marvelous cape of hers.
That's right. Yeah. Well, she laid down the law. Come on, Ladybird.
Okay. In modern day sightings, what is the estimated wingspan of the
Ooh.
Thunderbird? 2 to 5 feet? Over 10 feet? 50 to 100 feet? Or trick question, Thunderbirds do not have wings.
I think it's the 10 feet.
Ding ding ding. Over
Yeah.
10 feet.
Over
Okay,
10 feet. Yeah.
you are rallying as we go into the difficult questions.
Because I'm upside down. The hard ones are easy. The easy ones are no.
This
just jinxed myself right now.
or get a little overconfident, I think, in your
Yeah, a
recent
little
success.
bit. Yeah, exactly. Well, Lady Bird Johnson makes you feel that way.
All right. I'm going to do this one here. Hold on a second. I got to make sure I know. Do. The answer to the next question, I think I know it, but I don't want to, because it's one that I had no idea. So I don't want to give you, I don't want to give you the wrong impression here, or the wrong answer.
Sure.
So how about the Pickasaw birds?
Piosaw?
Piosaw, yeah.
At the end of this, you'll be able to pronounce
I
the name.
I I'm hopeful. Piosaw, yeah, like
The
Archie Bunker that
Piosaw.
way.
Yeah.
Heck. All
Think
right.
like what rhymes with Piosaw? I don't know. It's a weird word actually.
You ever hear of the
Piosaw.
Chickasaw mud puppies? Chickasaw?
Chickasaw. I don't know of the Mud Puppies, but Chickasaw I've heard of.
Chickasaw Mud Puppies were a band that had like one or two semi
Oh,
favorite alt
really?
hits. Yeah, yeah.
Hmm. What style would you say?
Kind of like oh, jug band alt rock, maybe. That's standard style.
Jug band alt rock. Hmm.
That was sort of seat of the pants, but
Yeah, I've
um,
I've never witnessed a jug band alt rock scenario myself. But hey, but apparently the
well, the
Chickasaw Mud Puppies got it going on.
Chickasaw Mud Puppies.
Do
All
they
right.
just have one moonshine jug or is there more?
I don't even know if they had any jugs. It was more this really sort of, and I'm thinking back now to what be the early '90s, I think.
Mhm.
It was just a really minimalist sort of acousticy, twangy sort of an approach to things. And I maybe even I can't remember the song that was relatively popular or whatever station I was listening to back then, but
Mhm.
I'm I'm thinking of it as sort of that sparse country, but yet rock inspired, like more alty, but nothing you'd ever really hear on mainstream type of thing.
Like Primus?
The Primus is a little bit too aggressive.
Ah.
Chickasaw Mud Puppies. This is nothing plugged in, I would say, for
Oh,
the
okay.
Mud Puppies.
Do they have a washboard?
No stringed. I can't even hear the song in my head now. I should probably stop trying to. Oh, that sounded good. Now you're starting with the Chickasaw Mud Puppy song. There you go. I think that could work. They could work with that. Yeah. Okay.
I was driving down the Mississippi River Road. It's all pie, all bird. Don't stop there by the rest stop because you're gonna get hurt.
I'll see if once I'm done trying to orchestrate these these quiz slides, I'll go do a quick search for the Chickasaw Mud Puppies, and we'll figure out
Okay.
which one that is. Okay, who in this list is considered a prominent Thunderbird researcher?
Mm, okay. This would be a tough one.
Hiram Cranner,
Mm-hmm.
Robert Lyman,
Mm-hmm.
Stan Gordon, or
Or Lady Bird Johnson. Oh.
Rob from Your Most Interesting Story. Close.
Rob from Your Most Interesting. Okay. I believe it's the first person.
You are right. Good old
Yeah.
Hiram
Hiram Cranner. I've heard his name before.
I've heard of Stan Gordon as well. I don't know who he is. I think he is
Stan
somehow
Gordon is the
Chickasaw Mud Puppy
no,
manager.
not Chickasaw Mud Puppy. Dang it. My brain is not firing like it normally is. He is with the UFOs. He is a
Okay.
UFO guy. And
Right.
his big thing was up in Pennsylvania. And I've actually been to the location where this happened, and I wish I could pull this out of my brain at this moment because we're talking about birds now, and I'm going to think about UFOs for a minute.
Things that
But
fly.
he worked at a radio station up in Pennsylvania where a major UFO event happened. Yeah,
I know I've heard of his name very recently.
Robert Lyman, I have no idea.
I am I'm watching that Netflix series, which I can't think of the name of. George, someone from Las Vegas. He's some reporter.
George Knapp. I watched
George
that.
Knapp. Yes. Have you seen that one?
Yeah, I watched that one.
Okay,
yeah.
Don't ruin the ending for me.
Oh, he gets abducted. No,
get one more. No, I saw him talking about the drones today, so I know he's back. If he was abducted, he's back.
Dang, now I'm a blank. I almost had the name of the town. In the age of Google, I really do hate using it.
Hey, because you don't want to support the man, the Google man.
No, I just want to remember myself.
I gave up. I've given my memory over to technology a long time ago.
Have you really?
I have.
Kecksburg. God bless it. Kecksburg.
Kecksburg.
Kecksburg, Pennsylvania. Stan Gordon worked for the radio station near Kecksburg and talked about this. And I've been there. I've been to the monument to Kecksburg UFO.
That's right. You do your little jaunts about
My little jaunts one. Yeah, I need to do another one. Oh,
Christian.
actually, my plan is to go see the Beast of Bray Road.
Right.
But yeah,
Right. You got to bring the chum, the frozen chum.
the frozen. I have. There's dozens of squirrels in my backyard, and I'm going to start grinding them up for my trip to the Bray Road to throw them out on the road. Yeah.
Now be careful. My wife was just telling me earlier today that apparently ground squirrels are becoming carnivorous and eating voles.
Oh, great. Well, we don't. Yeah, we have some of those too, I think.
Yeah, well, you may have less of them if your squirrels get a little bit of a hankering. If they get hangry, if you got hangry.
Well, they steal all my apples, so
Oh.
they got that going on. I think they got a moonshine rig going out in the woods here, with mashing up my apples and making them ferment. No, did we talk about this? Because if I did, I'll be quiet. But we had I didn't get to see this. Have I mentioned this to you in our last little outing here?
It depends on what it is.
The wolf in my backyard?
No. This was obviously after the Dogman episode.
Yes, it was after. So just real quick, one day, I don't remember what day it was, within the last 2 months, 2.5 months maybe, my wife was yelling, there's a coyote in the backyard. And during the day, which is unusual. And I go, really? And she's like, yeah. And so then I try to get over there and it goes into the woods. And then she goes, that was the most muscular coyote I've ever seen. And I go, then it wasn't coyote, because coyotes look real gangly and like malnourished most of the time.
Any chance he saw your muscular fox?
No, it wasn't the muscular fox, because he still looks like a fox. He's just a really buff fox. And so I showed her a picture of a coyote. I go, look like this? She's like, no. And I showed her a picture of a wolf. She's like, yeah, that's what it looked like.
Oh, wow.
And people say there's no wolves around here. Now,
didn't you bring the bears in there earlier? You were talking.
Yeah, we have bears here too.
Mm-hmm.
Now, rewind about 3 years, I saw a wolf in a field about 2 miles from here running across the field, and it crossed in front of the road to go into the woods in front of my car. And I was by myself driving around the country, and I come home and tell my family, and they told me I was full of shit. And then now there's a wolf in my backyard.
Yes,
I'm like, yeah, who's full of shit now?
Well, I just think this is interesting. So we do before Dogman, I hear howling, and afterwards you have wolf in your yard.
Yeah.
And then so beware thunderstorms after today, or large.
Well, we had a big thunderstorm just 2 nights ago, major, which is unusual for this time of the year for us.
And this is why we may want to ensure there's no established pattern before we start talking skinwalker or anything like that.
Yeah. Well, I haven't seen any goblins, so
I have not seen goblins either.
No, but
so I guess maybe we're
the
safe.
skips. It's only every other episode.
Maybe because we rooted them into Tennessee, by calling it Kentucky. Kentucky, sorry, and so
right?
they leave the state. Otherwise, they would no longer be a Kentucky goblin.
Yeah.
Okay, in 1977, this Illinois incident happened. What event was that in 77 that involved a Thunderbird?
Oh, it has a name? Okay.
Well, it was a supposed potential Thunderbird incident. No, it's not called the Thunderbird incident. It just happened in Illinois.
Do I get choices now or no?
Oh, I forgot about the choices. Right, I'm staring at them. Okay, a Thunderbird destroyed a barn.
Oh, okay. Now I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
A Thunderbird lifted a boy into the air. 35.
Ding, ding.
Oh, we already know. A Thunderbird was captured on film. a Thunderbird starred in the $6 Million Man.
That was Bigfoot. He was in
That's
the system. Yeah.
the cryptid
Yeah. Now the funny thing is though, you actually it could be B and C because
hmm?
there is a video if you go to YouTube where in Shelbyville, Illinois, where somebody films a Thunderbird.
Or was it in 1977?
No, this would have been more in the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay,
A video
that's
camera.
this is why this one's difficult. You got to pay attention to not just the event, but the year.
Right. Yeah, true, true, true. Yeah.
Mhm. All right.
Yeah,
There's
he
a
lifted a boy. Yes. I'm very familiar with this story because I remember it from back then.
They say that there were two of them. I think there were two boys and two birds, and they were being
Mhm.
pecked about the head and shoulders. And one of them
Mhm.
lifted the boy, kind of like those flying monkeys from Wizard
Mhm.
of Oz.
Dun, 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 dun,
And
dun,
then I
dun,
guess,
dun.
and then the other line that I read in the summary was, although there was no real evidence, and just like so, so two young boys were out, and they claimed that they were lifted into the air by a giant bird, and everybody said, "Oh yeah, that sounds like a thunderbird." I guess
No,
maybe he was.
now my recollection is he actually had wounds on his shoulders.
Oh, okay, there we go.
Like, you know, do chickens have large talons? It was a talon thing. Yeah.
Chickens have many talents.
Yeah. That's my bad
Oh,
my bad Napoleon Dynamite impersonation.
but I couldn't. I mean, 35 feet's taller than my top of my house.
Yeah. No,
That's
I
a long way
remember
to drop.
this poor kid.
Do you think he
So
dropped and rolled?
I don't think he dropped him from 35 feet. Anything OSHA says anything over 30 feet you could die.
Well, and he's one to
Yeah.
tell
The
OSHA.
chances of you dying once you get above 30 feet increase dramatically, according to OSHA.
Were you making a plan at some point and you had to determine appropriate heights?
No, I think I had to do a test at one point about that. And that's why I remember that.
Okay.
That and when I was young, my friends used to climb power the power towers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, no, I would not
You watched them?
recommend it. No,
You watched
I
them?
never did it because I'm like, you're idiots. But
So
you can't stop some people.
there was a bar where I went to college. Well, you know where I went to college in Champaign Urbana,
Yeah.
Illinois, and Thunderbird was the only bar that was in I think Urbana,
Mhm.
which had I think an 18 year.
Oh, 18 and up.
Yep, 18 and up, and whereas champagne bars were 19 and up. So
Mhm.
when I first got into college, we always went to Thunderbirds.
Yeah, I've been there as well.
Okay.
Uh, Probably not at the same time, but
No, no.
very close. But I've been to Thunderbirds as well
Mhm.
in the past. I don't think it exists anymore, to be honest with you.
And I thought of that simply because you talked about your friends climbing the power towers. I remember
Uh-huh.
very distinctly one time, I think it was after one of my first visits to Thunderbirds, that my friends and I decided to climb the side of a parking structure. That seemed like a
Mhm.
really good idea. And
Yeah. Well, usually
the campus
not.
police came by and thankfully just told us to get down.
Get the hell out of here.
They said, "Did you know if you got over 30 feet and you fell, OSHA says you
Yeah.
could potentially die?" Which
The chances of you dying increase dramatically. That's why
I
you
think that
said it too. Yeah.
I think that's what the police person said. I think it was a female officer, if I remember correctly.
There was also a Thunderbird theater, I believe, in Champaign. There was actually quite a bit of Thunderbird naming in Champaign at one point.
But no Piasaw Theater and
No
no Piasaw
Piasaw, no
Bar,
Thunderbird though.
no Chickasaw mud bars.
So
Oh,
did you
that
go to?
sounds like a good
Did we
treat.
talk about Cams and
I didn't go to Cam's.
Cochran's?
I went to Cochran's. I did not go to Cam's very often. I certainly went to COD's.
Did you go Cochran's on Daniel?
Cochran's on Daniels, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So Cam's was the big frat bar, and we were
Mhm.
not in a frat, so we always
Well,
poo-pooed Cam's. We probably get our asses
COD's was
kicked
right by Cam's though.
right next door.
COD's, yeah,
Yep. Mhm.
yeah.
Yes, sirree. And then there was Willie's. Was it Willie's with the Mug Club or something like that? It was one of the smaller sort of, but they had a Mug Club, and you had to join the Mug Club at Willie's. You had to do some sort of
I don't think I went to Willie's.
stupid binge drinking feat to get your official Willie's mug.
Hmm. No. I don't remember Willie's. I know Cochran's, I know CODs, I know Cam's, and then
The White Horse. Did you go to the White Horse?
White Horse. I've been to White Horse. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
but all these are all back in the day because
Gullies.
Cam's is still there, but not in the same place. CODs is gone, gone.
Shame.
Gullies. No, I never went to Gullies.
Okay, for a reason, or just
No,
you never heard of
just
it?
no. So I didn't go to school there, but
right.
I
You went to
visited
school
people
with the Menendez brothers' parents in Carbondale, right?
Yeah, I went to Carbondale. Yeah.
Did you know the Menendez brothers' parents?
No, I did not.
Okay. Because we were watching. That's another thing we were watching on Netflix. And
what year were they down there?
They may have flashed a year, and I said to my wife, I said, "Did they flash a year?" She's like, "I don't know," but we didn't back up to see because I was thinking, I wonder if Bob was in Carbondale around that time. Maybe he had a class with the father.
I will tell you that I missed Bob Odenkirk by 1 year.
Really?
Yeah.
That's a drag.
It is a drag. He graduated just ahead of me getting there. And I would have run into him because we both worked at the college radio station.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You're brushed with pre-fame.
Yeah. Almost. Well, no one at that time, Bob Odenkirk was nobody until recently. So.
Oh, well, yeah, I'm just thinking, but you could have looked back and told people like you're doing now.
Yeah, oh yeah, Bob Odenkirk, he's a jerk. That's what I can say.
Based on what I've heard in the interviews, I'm not going to believe you though. He's salty.
No, he seems like a pretty nice person.
Really good guy.
Yeah. No, I like to say that about anybody famous. That way, everybody's, oh yeah. Everybody, if you say they're nice, they're like, you sure? If you say they're a jerk, they go, oh yeah. We agree with you totally.
Like, well, we want to tear them down. Once they get famous, we're going to want to tear them down.
That's right. Exactly.
We want to help them on their way up, but once they're there, we want to just rip them right down again.
I went to school with the mayor of Carbondale. Well, he wasn't the mayor then, but he became the mayor.
Because sometimes dogs are mayors. Maybe like a college boy is the mayor.
No, he was like a real human mayor, and later he became the mayor. And actually, Miles was his roommate for a while.
Holy moly!
Yeah, we don't. Yeah, he doesn't. He does not claim us.
You do not still converse with the ex-mayor of Carbondale.
I think Miles actually does, but I don't.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, but they were roommates, so that makes a difference.
Right. Yes.
I wasn't the roommate. I was the annoying person that dropped in every once in a while.
All right, this is the last question here. This is difficult, and if you get this one right, you win the quiz.
Oh, okay. Good. Well, can we go back to that one with the guy's name? Because I did really well on that. Cranert.
Well, we'll see. Let's see how you do on this one first.
All right. Let's go. Besides
misidentification of known birds, what is another possible explanation for some Thunderbird sightings? Weather phenomena, hoaxes, secret government experiments, or alcohol?
Now, the last one is so plausible at this point. The whole time you've been putting in goofy stuff. Now, totally plausible answer. Totally plausible. This is a tough one.
Do you need me to read the questions again?
Just read the answers again. Yeah. Questions. Start from the first one. Let me try again. It's the first one. C.
Weather phenomena, hoaxes, secret government experiments, or alcohol?
Just because I love to say this, secret government experiments. That's my answer. Weather. How can it be weather phenomena? It's a bird.
That's a good question.
The thunder? Yes, weather phenomenon.
Was that thunder or a bird? I'm not sure. There could have been a big bird flapping its wings outside of my windows. Because theoretically, as legend has it for some of the Native American cultures, the flapping of its wings causes the sound of thunder.
Right, yeah.
So no, I don't know how modern day. To be honest with you, I took the word of my AI assistant on this particular answer. I did not go back and double check them.
What is the name of your AI assistant?
I unfortunately am becoming addicted to AI assistants. I use Gemini, I use ChatGPT, and I started a little bit of a side fling with Claude just the last few days.
I don't know who's Claude associated with.
What Anthropic?
I'm not familiar.
Yeah, I guess intrigued because this is really not anyone who's listening to this does not want to hear about Claude, I'm sure, but
You never know.
Claus, maybe you're someone who's been Claude.
That kid in Shelbyville got Claude.
What he did, or Talon.
Talon, yeah.
A lot of the answers just drive me nuts because they're so obsequious and willing to please.
Oh
That's
my
a
gosh.
great question. Blah, 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 blah. Can I do something else for you? It's like, no. And apparently they have an on-staff philosopher who is trying to create like the best personality for Claude so that it seems more like a natural conversation and not like some sort of a overeager, intern who's trying to serve your every need. So like, I want to check it out and see.
There's only one other person I've ever heard say the word obsequious.
Yeah, who? Bob
Steve
Odenkirk.
Martin.
Steve Martin.
He says it in a song that he sings on one of his most famous album, which I can't think of, but yeah.
The one with the balloons on his head?
Could be.
Balloons wrapped around his
head.
Let's get small. Right?
Let's get small, but he's obsequious. He sings it, but anyway.
I do remember the song. The snippet of the song, and it was not. This isn't a Chickasaw Mud Puppy song. Speaking of which, let me do a quick look here.
There we go. Well, hey, I did horribly at that quiz.
You really didn't do a very good job.
Thank you for bringing me down a notch after the Kentucky Goblins.
You were getting a little bit cocky after the success of the last quiz.
Yeah, I crushed the last quiz. This one, not so much. Well, it is the holidays. My mind's wandering.
Chickasaw Mud Puppies. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Do they have any more recent albums? Do they have any albums? No albums listed.
I'm glad you brought up the Shelbyville one because that's one of my favorite stories, and I do remember it from back in the day because it was on our local news station. They did a story.
It's funny you say that because the most favorite song of the Chickasaw Mud Puppies is called "Do You Remember?" I'm like, that's the song I heard, and then I said, I remember. You remember the story? It's like the synchronicity is abound. Synchronicity.
Gosh, the simulation is popping. Claude,
Claude, talons, claws, Claude, muscular foxes and wolves.
Those wolves, yeah, muscular wolves, exactly. This wolf was so scary that my wife doesn't want to go out at night and by herself.
Yeah, I gotta say, I mean, even a big well-trained dog can sometimes be a little bit intimidating. But yeah, one that's off leash, 100 pounds in your yard.
Oh yeah.
In its environment, while you go, teetering out on your two legs. Yeah. Speaking of animals on two legs, I heard a story today on one of my cryptid podcasts I listened to about some woman who saw a coyote get up and run on his hind legs and peered her from around the side of a tree. That was sort of
really, that's a Dogman story then. Yeah.
A tiny, emaciated Dogman story. Yeah.
They all can't be eaten well.
I guess that's true. Or maybe there could have been an adolescent.
Maybe he's, digging into the ayahuasca or whatever. I don't know.
He's put food intake low on his priority list.
Yeah. Who knows what's going on?
So I think the quiz kind of took up a majority of this, but
we rushed the quiz last time. Maybe that's why I did so well. I'm gonna say we got to rush the quiz every time.
maybe the visuals were a little bit too much. Maybe we'll back off on the visuals and just do the audio.
I don't know. I kind of liked it. We just have to. Sure. I'll have to refine it. That's all.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the way things work, right?
Throw something.
It's all iterative. Yeah.
That's right.
It's all obsequious.
It's all obsequious.
I'm going to put that in as all the keywords for this one.
There's so many searches for obsequious. on the internet right now, you're going to get
We've
all
cornered 100% of the obsequious market.
you'll get all the traffic.
It's just Steve Martin and this, and that's all.
That's all I need. This keyword.
So now, have you had any Thunderbird other than the being thunderous when you were
Mhm.
researching? Any Thunderbird, brushes at all? I have not, but I'm just curious.
No, I'm have such interest in these topics, obviously, but yet I have had virtually, well, that's the howling outside my house. As I start thinking through this, maybe that's not the case, but no, I've seen nothing that resembles a 10-foot or greater wingspan bird. Although when I first moved to California, I was really entranced by the vultures that would fly around, and I still
Mhm.
love a good hawk. The larger hawks, when the red-tailed hawks come around.
Yeah.
I do love the oversized birds for whatever reason. I have a bit of a fascination with that kind of nature. It's unusual, but now the vultures are so common now. It's like, oh, my first thought is, oh, there must be something dead, as opposed to, oh, look, there's a vulture.
There must be something that. Where are my children and the dogs? Yeah.
That's right. Well, I mean, speaking of vultures, within the last year, we turned the corner. We do a circle around the block, and there's a vulture in the side of this road, just like ripping apart a dead squirrel,
Hmm.
hopping around. They're a lot bigger when they're standing on the ground than when they are flying.
Yeah,
They're,
they
they're not
are.
they're not small birds. And then we saw a coyote. Coyote was on that same block, like
Oh,
about
there
three
you go.
houses down. So
Yeah,
we
you don't want to hit a vulture with a car. It'll leave a dent.
it will. I think it will. Yeah.
Yeah, it will. Well, I have had so we have water near us, and we have these cranes that fly over, and we talked about Mothman at one point or another. But anyway, Sandhill crane, right? So the they if, during different parts of the day, right, when you have the sun at a certain place, when they fly over, the shadow is enormous.
Yeah, with the
And then you go, what the hell was that? Because the shadow just goes woof.
yeah,
But
I think there's
it's just
something
cranes.
primal about that. I think I made a mention that last time. It's like when you just like when there's shadow, whether it's a plane or something that just passes over, there's something about that just kind of makes you go, "Whoa, what the hell?" Like
Hmm.
some of our ancestors have passed that trait
Hmm.
down.
Yeah, and the hawks too. We have a lot of hawks here that feed on these squirrels, these damn
Hmm.
squirrels, and yeah, they'll come flying over, but they don't have nearly as big of a shadow. So I mean, it could be cranes, and if you think about the Thunderbird being so large, I mean that shadow is definitely more than 10 foot in wingspan if you're looking at it on the ground, and I could see where you'd get kind of freaked out by that. That would be scary.
Yeah, I mean, and they say that people that are sort of in these heightened states of awareness or they're scared, they tend to overestimate size of
Hmm.
things. But one said that the bird. I remember one of the summaries of the encounters or sightings said that it was as big as an SUV. The
Yeah,
bird we had seen, which was that's big.
that's big.
That
Yeah.
is a big bird, but it is not. It is not Big Bird. It is just a big bird.
Now apparently, because we have to mention it because it kind of fits into some of this. Is the New Jersey drones were as big as an SUV, and so maybe depending on where you land on the drone situation, where if it's a real drone or if it's not a drone or if it's something else.
I have dived into the Reddit drone pool over the last 2 weeks, and I've just immersed myself into that story. I almost contacted you and said, "Do we need to do an emergency drones episode?" Because
Sure.
I sure know a lot about them, or at least the theories floating around about them.
Well, then let's hold it and let's do that. Let's do a drone story, maybe while you're relaxing.
That sounds like a plan. Yeah, since
Yeah,
we're
before
doing that.
before the new year, but after the holiday, the
Yeah,
Christmas.
that sounds like a plan.
So let's hold that thought, folks, and
Tune in, tune in soon.
yeah, you come in for Dromageddon. Is that a word?
Well, it could be.
It's
There's
obsequious.
speaking of George Knapp, I saw he's referring to it as Dronapalooza. So
Oh, come on, George.
he
That's
could.
that's so that's so 90s.
That's so Knapp.
Yeah, that's so nap. Yeah, we have to think of a better word, but we'll come back with some kind of drone pun on the next episode. So this has been our conversation about the Thunderbird segueing into drone orama.
Dronorama. That's not bad.
And I've been talking with Your Most Interesting Stories host, one of the hosts, Rob. You can catch it at youtube.com at YMIS podcast, which stands for Your Most Interesting Story. If you got one, maybe it's going to be over New Year's. Who knows? Contact Rob at his website, which I don't have, but you can maybe contact him through this link that I have here.
That works. Yeah, the website is. I've not yet invested in my own custom website, so I have a long extended Google sites.
Okay.
URL.
Well, then through YouTube you can get there, though.
Go to YouTube or do any of the major podcatchers or around Blue Sky.
Spotify or whatever. Oh, you're on Blue Sky. Did you get YMIS on Blue Sky?
I got YMIS podcast. Yeah.
Oh, did you? Because God darn it, that everybody was jumping in so fast on that. But anyway,
did you not get Static Radio?
I had to do Static Radio podcast. I normally just do Static Radio, but somebody already got it, so they can be the bastard on that one. They're
coming to you in about a year, and they're going to try to get that money from you.
Oh, that's fine. They won't get anything. But
you could have them on to talk about what they're trying to do.
Yeah, I have to listen to the latest one of your show. I meant to listen to it before tonight, but I didn't get a chance to get it done because you have a new one out. And
new one's coming out Sunday. Yep, and the previous.
Oh, it's coming out Sunday. I saw a thing for it on socials. So
that's what we call a teaser in the.
Oh, I didn't even realize. I just took it as the actual thing. So.
Sunday.
Yeah, you're right, because my podcatcher has no new episodes.
Sunday, get ready. You got something to look forward to.
It has something to do with the holidays.
It is. I was very excited that we were able to get a holiday story in queue. We rushed it to the front of the line.
Hot off the press. Hold the presses.
Hold on a second. No, I was trying to get something thematic, and I'm like, the holidays have got to have something, and didn't get a lot of nibbles or bites, and then suddenly somebody shot me an email and said, "Hey," I'm like, you're there. Let's go. Let's get this recorded.
I used to be a small Santa, and they're like, we already did the mascot guy. Come on, I know you did that in the holiday season to make extra money.
I played the Bumble in Rudolph.
The Bumble. I love the Yukon Cornelius voice, and I always end up,
You do it well.
Yeah, well, it's not lack of practice. I can tell you that right now. Even in the off season, I'm doing the Yukon Cornelius voice.
Does your wife send you down to the garage and
she doesn't pay any attention.
You have married long enough where you got the ability to tune out the other person's voice as needed.
Here's my new YMIS story. Earpods saved my marriage.
Noise canceling, yeah.
That's really short, but yeah.
We can work on it. I could do it.
But that headline is a grabber,
And then as you get older, you could use them for hearing aids now, right?
Yeah, so. I know. I saw that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, what will they think of next?
Lots of stuff, I'm going to guess.
Yeah, I'm guessing as well.
Yeah. Yeah, there's some.
All right.
Maybe we'll go down that road. We'll talk about quantum computing at some other episode.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'd love to talk about that. Well, let's sign off for tonight, and we'll be back with Dronorama in the near future. But in the meantime, Your Most Interesting Story, and find out how Santa got his groove back.
See you, everyone.